Mark Spears undefeated. Mike, just break down that third quarter with Kevin and that run. I believe it was a 13-0 run that he had.
He was huge for us, Mark. We didn't do anything tricky. He got hot, and we just wanted to keep him in the middle of the floor, attacking downhill, and in pick and roll situations. And that's what we did. And as the quarter went along, we started to slow down with our pace a little bit. But other than that, he was terrific. He made the right play every time down the floor, and obviously he made shots. He is who he is. There wasn't anything tricky or anything like that. He made tough shots, and some of the shots he was able to break loose, and they were easy, but he made play after play after play.
And how does David West help in some of that, too, with some of his passing?
Well, again, we were playing middle pick and roll just between those two guys or whoever our big was, and David would pop to the elbow. And if KD got double teamed, he'd throw a little bounce pass back to D West, or he'd throw it over the top. KD being 6'11", if he gets double teamed, it's easy for him to throw over the top of any double team. And since he was rolling at that point, they tried to change up their defense, it looked like, from time to time, and kind of double him. And as soon as KD gave it up to David, somebody had to close to David because he's a good shooter from 15 feet, that free throw line area. And as soon as that ball went back to David, KD made the right basketball play because he was overplayed. He cut back door. I think he maybe got two or three backdoor layups during that time with David on the floor, and just good chemistry between the two guys.
Marcus Thompson-Berry in this group. What made you, I guess, turn to KD? It looked like you put him at point. He was taking the ball up, and it was kind of, for a stretch there, it was his show. Was that predetermined, or did you see he was feeling it?
Yeah, he got into a groove, and we have a couple of plays where he's off the ball, and we'll get him the ball once we get into the half court, and then he can play pick and roll. But with the groove that he was in, or the rhythm that he was in, there was no need to. He can handle the ball like a point guard. So we just say, you know what, KD, you bring it up. Everybody else get flat. We'll play pick and roll and see what they do to stop it.
Hey, Mike. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press-Democrat. You mentioned Clay's defense. By Clay standards, he hasn't really gotten going offensively, mostly in the postseason, definitely not in this series. But he had moments tonight. Is this the kind of game, do you think, that might swing him a little bit offensively?
It definitely could. I thought not only did he shoot the ball well, I thought his drive and kick game was tremendous for us offensively. Not just tonight, but for most nights, his drive and kick game has been good. He's kept it real simple, made the right play, and obviously, once he gets back to shooting, or once he gets in a groove, it's lights out when he's cooking too. So great night for him, especially defensively.
Hey, Mike. A lot of guys consider Manu one of the toughest guys to play the game. At his age, to put up a gutsy performance like he did like tonight, is he a guy who you just have to respect?
Yeah, hey, man, everybody around the league has ultimate respect for him. I mean, he's been playing a long time, and only positive things happen when he's on the floor. I can't imagine doing the things that he's doing out there at his age, and looks like he can play a couple more years. I don't know if he wants to hear that, but the way that Pop treats his team and helps all his players out, the longevity, in my opinion, is there for Manu.
Tim Calicami, American News. My couple questions. You talked about Steph's defense before the game. Then he goes out and gets 6 steals. Was that just a matter of him gambling a little bit to get those steals? What did you see in him to get that number?
Well, without watching the tape, Tim, he looked like he was in the right position quite a bit, especially on the weak side. I thought he got a couple of passes that were tipped too. I thought our on-ball coverage was pretty good. We had active hands. We call them stick hands. Our stick hands were really good, tracing the ball when guys tried to make passes, and it might have got deflected a little bit. And he was just in the right spot at the right time defensively on the weak side, and came up with a couple of steals that way. And then, he's great at what I call digging the ball out. When the bigs have the ball around the rim, or there's a loose ball, or somebody tries to take a dribble, Steph is not only crafty offensively, but defensively from time to time. He'll sneak in there and come up with a steal when a big's not looking off of a potential double team. So, again, he's been great for us defensively. I thought when he picked up his third foul, he went a stretch of, 8 minutes or so without picking up another one. And we went on a 24 to 8 run during that time. And, You know, I just attribute that to maturity because he could have easily picked up his 4th foul at that time in the second quarter, which would have caused us some concern in the second half, but he didn't.
And also, I know Andre played, but looked like some of his minutes were limited. You went with McCaw instead of him in the third. Was there any limit with Andre? Was there any reason why maybe you kept his minutes down a little bit?
No, I threw Pat in there at the beginning of the third quarter, and I thought Pat was playing well, and so I went back to him instead of Andre. But he's fine. At least I didn't hear anything from our training staff.
Mike, Daryl Crane with tcal.org. A lot of lines have been written, not by anybody in here, obviously, about anybody could kind of coach these guys. And you could just roll out a ball, and these guys are so good. Talk to us about the challenges of coaching this team, the challenges you've faced about being kind of thrust in this position, and how you're meeting those.
That Steve Kerr has done a fantastic job laying a foundation. You know, he's our leader. He's our head coach. He's done a tremendous job laying the foundation down the right way, giving these guys ownership. We have a veteran team that's very talented, and they've taken on the ownership the right way. And, you know, with the staff that Steve's assembled and the players that we have, I mean, yeah, you want to be able to have a team at this point in the year especially that can figure some things out on their own out on the floor. And I tip my hat off to all these guys. They're doing that. They've been great the whole year, and they continue to be great in the postseason. My job to kind of help put them in spots from time to time when we're going sideways, and so that's what I'm here to do.
Anthony Slater, Barry News Group. JaVale had, I think, 16 points in about 10 or so first half minutes. He scored in bunches this season when defenses have kind of ignored him. Did you see something in pregame prep that thought they would kind of defend him that way?
No, you know, Steve was the one that suggested we start JaVale, you know, when we knew Zaza was going to be out. And we started JaVale before in Zaza's spot, and JaVale's done a terrific job when he did start. And what tends to happen with him, you know, you got KD out there, you got Clay out there, you have Steph out there, and like you said, I don't know why, but teams tend to forget about him and or leave him. And we got a ton of playmakers out there with him, especially with that starting group, and he knows what his role is. He kind of finds his way to the dunker spot or right around the rim, and as soon as his man steps up to help on any dribble penetration, he's at the rim to throw that lob dunk. And on top of that, though, too, I got to give him credit. He did a heck of a job running the floor. You know, for a guy his size, he's very quick, and he got up and down the floor and got a couple of layups in transition and a couple of putbacks just because of his effort, his length, and his athleticism.
Great, thank you. For us, we'll have
Thanks.